If I wrote The Young and the Restless, a 2023, almost, mid-year review, welcome to USA 24, my dream channel. Hello, cherished readers and Geno City admirers. We are looking back on the first half of 2023 and reflecting on everything that has happened in Geno City, as well as everything we wish had happened this year as we approach the halfway point of the year. Numerous ups and downs, fake deaths, shattered marriages, corporate espionage, infidelity, wheeling and dealing, paternity tests, a lost child, quarreling siblings who later reconciled, stalkers who wished they had never returned, and partnerships that were on the verge of breaking apart have all occurred. As the writer's strike continues and the days get closer to when we won't be getting any new episodes, I daydream about what I would write if someone gave me a month to write Y&R. I've been watching The Young and the Restless for a while. I occasionally wish I could catch up with characters who have passed away but not forgotten. What is David Hasselhoff doing at the moment? Since when has Jill last seen her brother? I wish Snapper would visit. Perhaps he now has a handsome young son who can enter and sweep Summer off her feet while making Kyle envious. I'd also bring Drusilla home, who would be horrified to learn that Neil is dead and that she had grandkids after suffering from amnesia for decades. One of the toughest characters in Y&R's history was Victoria Rowell. That situation would give rise to a variety of storylines, including where she has been for all these years, Lily and Devon meeting their mother again and introducing her to their grandchildren, Drew's strong ideas about their life, and Drew trying to create a dancing studio while also pursuing her job. If you don't remember, she was a ballet dancer once. The reunion with her presumed dead niece would also bring Aunt Mamie back, and I am always pleased to have Mamie in town. Thank you. Please subscribe to my channel. But let's get back to the here and now. I would begin by having Nate turn against Victoria by working for Adam as a spy. Nate, in my opinion, is motivated by ambition, wealth, and power. I believe that if Adam gave him more, he would gladly work as a double agent for Augustus, or whatever name they ultimately choose. As of this writing, it is still a matter of contention. I want Victoria to fail. She is so entitled and smarmy. Victoria was given numerous cautionary tales about Nate, but she disregarded them. It would make me giddy if everyone else was correct, and she was wrong, exactly like with Ashlyn Locke, since she tossed Nick to the side to elevate Nate. Adam can make Victoria work as Audra's administrative assistant when he takes over Newman Media and replace Victoria with Nate and Audra with Nate. Although I doubt Victor would ever permit any of that, it's a great fantasy. If I were to pen Y&R, I would put more emphasis on Tucker and Ashley's relationship and the new business they are starting together, simply Ashley, than on her conflict with Jack. I find it to be dull. I detest seeing the Abbott siblings fight every day. Ashley's fiance is someone Jack dislikes, and Diane, Jack's wife, is also disliked by Ashley. Kids, that's pretty much all of America. Every one of us has a relative who is seeing someone we despise, but we still go to the 4th of July BBQ, smile at them, and act like we like them because that's what family does. I don't want to watch the same argument I saw at the family reunion when I turn on Y&R. Give me some romance and glitz. Sally and Adam would be reconciled if I were to pen Y&R. These two hurting individuals were a good example of how two wrongs may make a right. They work better together, in my opinion, than they do separately. Josh Morrow is likable, so I enjoy Nick Newman with practically everyone he's ever been with, but I would prefer to see him return to Sharon. I can see a path back to love for them after what they went through with Cameron Kirsten, nearly losing faith, and their new business collaboration. Since high school, they have intermittently crossed paths, and those roots go deep. Even though Sharon slept with Chance, I'd rather see Summer with Chance since Snapper's previously suggested hot son isn't around for her to find. Kyle and Summer would eventually reunite, but Kyle and Audra currently have a little more oomph, so I am ready to let this play out and see where it goes. Although Audra is a cunning manipulator so far, it has been effective for her. If I were to write Y&R, I would give her character a little more depth. That can't be all there is to Audra, in my opinion. I need some history. How did she get in this situation? What hidden previous information does she possess? I would love to learn whether some long-forgotten villain or villainess had set her on a road to con all the wealthy families in Geno City. Perhaps she is collaborating with Lena Love to gather information for her autobiography, or perhaps a David Kimball family member is seeking retribution. Audra needs to be more than just ambitious man-eater Barbie. If I were to write Y&R, I would pull a Bobby Ewing or Dallas and not kill Sally's child, making the miscarriage merely a terrifying dream. I cherished the thought of Sally and Adam raising a kid together. If their daughter had been born, just imagine, undoubtedly a real spitfire of a girl. Even though Courtney Hope performed brilliantly after losing her child, I still lament the fact that all those great narratives were lost with Ava. Adam's inner turmoil and suffering as a result of being forced to make an impossible decision were expertly shown by Mark Grossman. Although both performers gave their all in the parts that were scripted for them, I would give them a fresh start and bring Ava back. We used to get a lot more teen plots on soap operas throughout the summer. Why? The summer is the ideal time to start attracting new viewers to your show in order to extend its life by another 50 years as teenagers are out from school. When Sharon and Nick were teenagers, Billy and Mac, Brittany and JT, and the recently reunited Daniel and Lily were all around us. If I were to rewrite Y&R, Lucy, Faith, and perhaps an older Connor and Christian would rekindle the teen scene and embark on a brief teen quartet adventure. Teenagers don't want to watch old folks romance, but we need to keep this show on the air for another 50 years. We would see more of Tessa and Mariah if I were to write Y&R. Since they adopted their child, we hardly ever see them. What about their family life? We view Mariah as Kyle's shoulder, but what about their relationship? I want to see them cuddling their infant at home, much like we see Devin and Abby doing with Dominic. I did appreciate the recent moments where Tessa urges Mariah to accept a position with Sharon's new business. Given that Adam, Nick, Sharon, and Phyllis' most recent endeavor should be in the spotlight for a season, it was a nice scene between the two new mothers and set them up to be more conspicuous. In the past, soap operas have frequently been the first media format to tackle difficult subjects, such as the Vietnam War on All My Children and AIDS on General Hospital. I believe that Y&R has the chance to develop a plot in which Tessa and Mariah experience some prejudice for having same-sex children. These two lovable characters, both wonderful mothers, might be able to communicate with the audience in a way that words in an abstract argument just cannot. In the play Hamlet, there is a line that reads, "The play's the thing wherein we will capture the conscience of the king." This implies that the play about a person who committed the same sin as him will have an effect on the monarch. That might apply here as well, in my opinion. A significant narrative would also be written for Nikki Newman, one of my all-time favorite soap opera divas, played by the incomparable Melody Thomas Scott. Nikki's past was difficult. I would love to see her bring that into the present and perhaps teach a young woman she meets who has to strip in order to pay the rent while also guiding her through life in a paying-it-forward type of plot. I want Nikki to demonstrate her heart and fortitude by doing something significant on her own rather than always having to offer advice to her family. In a similar vein, I'm glad Sharon appears to finally have something to do besides make coffee and listen to everyone complain in town. Even though she's starting a new company with two of her ex-boyfriends, I'm excited to see how it develops. Victor is Victor, and until he's ready to retire, hopefully many years from now, I want Eric Braeden to continue being the ideal Victor Newman. I am inspired by Mr. Braeden's spirit as he fights cancer, and I value his upbeat outlook on what he is going through. He's going to beat cancer, in my opinion. The main plot lines from the first half of 2023 are listed below. Which ones did you like best and least? What did I overlook? Please let me know in writing. 2023 on Y&R. Lily and Billy part ways. Chance and Abby separate. Following Chelsea's unsuccessful suicide attempt, Adam feels envious of her time spent with Billy. Audra, Tucker, and Nate approach Chancellor Winters. By robbing Nikki of her jewelry, Jack and Diane trick Jeremy Stark, who is then detained. Adam is the father according to Nick and Adam's paternity test, and Sally is expecting. In the midst of their conflict over Hamilton Winters, and just before they each lose their respective lawsuits, Lily and Devin make up. A new jazz venue been opened in Genoa City as a tribute to Neil. Kyle and Victor hatch a plan to free Adam from Jebot. Adam promises to ruin Newman Media. A gaming platform is made by Daniel. In town are Heather and Lucy. Chelsea, who is a member of the creative team, created the game's mental health component. Elena catches Victoria and Nate infidelity when they are on a business trip to Los Angeles. In March, new writers took over, and now the writers are on strike. Will there be more new writers? A nice evening until Phyllis fakes her death after marrying Jeremy Stark at the masquerade ball for Geno City's 50th. Phyllis sneakily attends her own funeral by killing Jeremy Stark. Phyllis, Billy, Kyle, Ashley, Jack, and the mediating Tracy are all involved in the Abbott family conflict. Kyle, Summer, and Abby are all sucked into the conflict. Summer breaks up with Kyle after lying about her mother's whereabouts, while Diane is serving time for Phyllis' murder. Defying Victor, Michael stands up for Diane. When Phyllis passes away, Geno City citizens experience poignant scenes of grieving as they all find a way to say, "She was nuts, but we loved her." 50th anniversary of Y&R. Classic Y&R episodes in flashback. John Abbott's special episode honoring Jerry Douglas. When their act of being a couple evolves into reality, Ashley and Tucker acknowledge their affections for one another. Phyllis informs Summer that she is alive but asks her not to tell Daniel. Summer informs Daniel right away. After being forced out of Marchetti by Jack, Kyle finds a position at Newman Media and begins an affair with Audra. Elena requires a new romantic partner. In a Newman quickie suite, Nate and Victoria engage in sexual activity all day long. Christine is bound and determined to prosecute Phyllis for fabricating her death and killing Jeremy Stark, despite the fact that a witness supports her claim of self-defense. This will have an influence on Phyllis' future. Cameron Kirsten, a stalker from Sharon's past, is still after her. After receiving a preeclampsia diagnosis, Sally miscarries. Nick is with Sharon and is the only one searching for Faith as Jeremy abducts her and attaches Faith to a bomb. Adam is the only one with her. Sally is enraged that Adam put her life above that of baby Ava. Nick, Adam, and Sharon unite with Augustus and Kirsten. Zune Jill. Adam makes a job offer to Phyllis. Chelsea accepts a new creative position at Marchetti that is offered to her. After being dropped, Doug Davidson cleaned out his dressing room. Dear readers, I don't know what will happen the rest of 2023, but I shall watch tomorrow as long as tomorrows exist. Tamalu.